Today we'll be drawing a cute fox in Procreate using my Halloween brush set. You can download it along with a color palette free of charge through the link in the description below. If you post a version on Instagram, tag me at Tatyworks and I will share it in my stories. Now, let's get started! The canvas size is 2500 by 2000 pixels. In the beginning, I will change the background color into this light pink by dragging it on the canvas. After that, I will select this green color, create a new layer, and pick the monoline brush. Let's draw the forest edge, going from left to right as an arc. And I will drag this green color inside. I'm going to change the color into light brown, and we will draw a couple of trees on the sides of the canvas on a new layer. I will draw the first small branch, then another one that is a little bigger, and a trunk going down as a straight line. I will tap my finger to make it strictly vertical. Then fill it with the selected color. On the same layer, I will draw another tree on the right side of the canvas. I will make it look a little different from the first one, because you can hardly find two trees in the forest that look like twins. It will have only one branch visible, where we will place the spider web later. I will draw the trunk same way as on the first tree and fill it. Let's add some shading and textures to our trees. In order to do that, I will create a new layer and clip it to the current one. And I will be using the brush from the new set that is called Tree Hedge. I'm going to grab this light beige color and start from the tree on the left. I will set the opacity to around 75% and go with this brush all over the tree, not applying too much pressure on the pencil. We are only creating the texture this way. On the branches, I will change the direction. Let me zoom in and lower the brush size. I want to highlight some areas on the branches. At the bottom of this one, same on the smaller branch, and here on the trunk. Let's also add some highlight on the right side. While this color and brush are selected, I will do the same for the second tree that is on the right. First adding the texture starting from the branch, then change the direction and draw on the trunk going down. Let me lower the size again and add the highlight at the bottom. Continue on the trunk a little, and also on this right upper part. For shading, I will be using the darker brown color and same brush. Increase the size and draw slightly on the left side of this tree and at the bottom. And at the opposite side of the second tree, at the bottom too. Well, we are done with these two trees for now. I'll draw another one on a new layer below this green layer. I will be using the selected brown color and change the brush back to monoline from calligraphy. This time I will draw two parallel vertical lines going throughout the canvas. I will tap my finger maybe move it a little closer, and fill the resulting rectangle with the current color. After that, we can draw the branches on both sides of the trunk. I will start from the left, and the second one will go a little higher on the opposite side. I will drag the color inside the shapes. And we will also add the texture on the tree, on a new layer that is clipped. First, I will pick the light beige color and the tree hedge texture from the Halloween set. Let's repeat what we did on the previous two trees. Very low pressure. Then lower the size and also add those highlights at the bottom of this branch and smoothly transitioning on the trunk. Here I want to add it on top. For shading, I will pick this dark blue color that comes third in the color palette. I will lower the opacity, increase the size and draw carefully in the middle of this trunk, a little closer to the right side. Okay, we are done with this tree as well. Time to add textures on this green hill. I will be doing it using this lighter blue shade and cloudy splash brush from the new set. Let's go to the hill layer and create a new one above that is clipped. The opacity is set to max and the brush size is also high. I'm drawing at the lower part and going up. I will change the color into light beige and draw on top of the hill. I will lower the size and continue. Let's go back to this green base layer, and I just want to blur its edge with the Gaussian blur tool. I think around 7 to 8% will be enough. We continue working on the background and go into this bottom layer to create one more layer above it. I want to use a few colors, starting with this light beige. Let's switch to monoline and draw a line. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I will just drag the color on the canvas under the line. Then let's pick the light color above this one and draw another line. Also fill this gap between the lines. Now it's turn to select this blue color, and I will draw a line on top. Fill it, switch to a lighter blue, and add a line below, and fill. This gap will stay unfilled. In the end, I will go to Gaussian blur, select layer, and you can move the slider to the left and to the right to pick the best resulting combination of colors. I will keep it around 67%. Let me create a new layer above, change the color back into dark blue, and brush into pumpkin texture, which we can also find in the Halloween set. I will add these vertical strokes, going up and down, from left to right. Set the layers mode to overlay, and lower the opacity to around 50%. I think it may look like the faraway trees. After that, I will pick the light color and my seamless spider web brush, adding a new layer below the side trees. Let's try to draw the spider web between the branches. You can use the eraser if needed. I will go to inking to select the fine tip brush. The size is at 30%. I'm gonna draw a straight vertical line on which our spider will be hanging later. So we are creating a new layer for the spider, and I wanted to have this nice blue color. We can find the spider stamp in the Halloween brush set. The size is 6%. I will tap and move it to the right place. Let's give it some shading on a new layer with a clipping mask. Begin with this dark blue color, and I will be using the fabric texture brush from the same set. Let's lower the opacity and add the texture on the legs first. On the right side too. Make the size a little bigger and add some shading on the right lower area. And a little bit of reflected light won't hurt. I will do it on the same layer with the light milky color. Of course, we can adjust the brush opacity and size while drawing. Let's go to the base layer with the spider and drop this color inside the eyes. I think we can erase the shading on the eyes with the eraser set to Studio Pen. Here comes the first eye, then the second one. The spider is ready. While we have this milky color selected, let's add some stars in the sky. For that, I will create a new layer above the pumpkin texture, and I will be using the monoline brush. Let's draw a few stars of one size. Then I will change the size and draw a few more. Between the branches too. And we can add some bigger ones as well. I think I will draw some tiny ones, mostly on the lower part of the sky. To make the stars shine a little, I will go ahead and duplicate the layer. Go to the lower one and apply Gaussian blur on it, around 5 or 6%. To make them shine brighter, I will duplicate the blurred layer and merge. Let's select the violet color, go to the top layer and create a new one above it. The monoline brush is selected. From now, we will start working on the foreground. I'm gonna draw a bush with an unusual shape. Begin with a line, continue with the arc going this way, and another line going down from this end. Let's fill it. And now I will set the eraser to Studio Pen, and we will carve the parts inside the shape. I'm lowering the size prior to that, and I will begin from the left side. Sort of triangle here, and another one right here. In order not to get confused, we can delete the cut parts straight away. To do that, I will go to Selection, pick Automatic, and tap on the parts that I want to be removed. You can adjust the threshold to make it around 99%. I will bring up the menu by swiping 3 fingers down and select Cut from it. It worked. We will continue same way. There come these lines. One, another one, and the last one going down. And a triangle on top. Let me edit. One more triangle over here. Okay, let's also delete them. I will tap to select, swipe 3 fingers down and click on Cut. From this moment, I will fast forward because you actually don't have to repeat these shapes after me. You can carve the bush in your own way. Mine is just an example of how it may look. After we are done with the shape, we need to add some texture to it. I will create a new layer and clip it to the existing one. Let's pick the dark blue color, and I will be using my fabric texture from Halloween. I won't follow any scheme here, just put this texture randomly, here and there, on different sides and different parts of the bush shape. Then change the color into milky, as I call it, and also add this color on the parts free from texture. A few strokes on top, then at the bottom and on different sides. Finally here on the right. To save some time for the second bush, I will simply duplicate the base color layer and move it on top. I will unclip. Let's repaint the shape. To do that, I will first alpha lock it, change the color into this pinkish, open the layer menu and click Fill Layer. Let's go to Transform tool, flip horizontal, scale it in the uniform mode and move it to the right. To change the shape even more, I will erase one small part on the left side. And I will also add the texture on a new layer that I will create above this one and clip. Let me grab this bright rose color and I will be using the fabric texture. Making a few strokes on different sides again, here and also here. Then switch to the milky color and add a few more wherever you want. Mine will go like this. And one more on the side. Let's merge these two pairs. We will continue drawing more plants. I will create a new layer above and select the green color from the palette. I think we better select Studio Pen brush for drawing. Let's draw a few separately located blades of grass. First one, then another one at some distance. I think I can lower the brush size for convenience and draw one more blade intersecting the previous one. Fill it with color. Let me draw a few more exactly same way. The first one will go like this. I'm filling it. and the second one will go to the right, intersecting. Here I will draw a family of 4 blades. 2 will look to the right, and 2 more will look to the left. I will also fill them with color. And now they also need some shading. I will create a new layer for that and clip it. And this time I want to use the Cloudy Splash brush in combination with this dark blue color. With the brush set to full opacity, I will be adding this color at the bottom of the grass blades, lowering the pressure while going up along the shapes. Finally on these 4. And we can merge these layers once we are done. Create one more layer for another kind of plants. I want to use this yellow color to add some brightness to our foreground and thus to the entire drawing. I will select the monoline brush this time. Let's draw an arc, then another one, and fill it. Draw one more similar shape and fill it too. And the third one I will make a bit different, drawing without lifting my pencil from the canvas and dragging the color inside. Let me create one more layer for shading that I will clip. Going to use the green color on the left side of the plants. The brush that would fit here is the fabric texture brush. I will increase the size and start adding the texture. Also here and on the last one. I also want to highlight the right sides of the plants with this milky color, going up and down along the edges. On the second plant and on the last one. I think I can draw one plant of this kind, but with the blue color. Let's change the brush for the studio pen and draw here on an empty place 2 arcs filled with color. And on the shading layer I will add the milky color with the fabric texture brush on the left side. And this light blue on the right. Let me go back to add more of milky color on top. This row of plants is also done. It seems to me this pink bush needs to be moved a little to the right to fill this gap between neighboring plants. I will select it, turn magnetics on and move it. Okay, it will be good if we add a couple of unique flowers in the foreground. I will merge these 2 layers and create one more layer above. Select the light brown color and maybe change the brush into monoline. I will increase the size a little and let's draw the stem. Waiting for a second to make it perfect. Then create a new layer for the petals. I will make them yellow. Going back to Studio Pen because it has these tapered tips. Drawing the petal on top of the stem and filling it straight away. Drawing a couple of petals more on same level and of same size. Also filling them. The next two will be a little bigger and go one level down. We can rotate the canvas for more convenient drawing. These two will get filled with the color as well. Next pair will be even bigger, and I will fill them straight away. Finally, the last two. Filling it and drawing one on the left side. Okay, I will create a layer for shading and clip it, picking the light brown color for that and fabric texture from Halloween set. Let me zoom and I will start adding the texture on the petals one by one at the bottom. Going down. Now going to the left side of the flower to do the same. Drawing very carefully. But even if you touch a petal accidentally, you can always fix it using a eraser. And for highlights, I will select the milky color. We'll be adding it on the sides opposite to shading, lowering the size where needed. Adding these highlights on both sides of the flower. 2 more petals and we are done. Merge the layers and create a new layer to add these lines that divide the petals into 2 parts. We could actually do everything on one layer, but I sometimes want to change something, add more highlight or different shades, so I prefer keeping my layers separated until I finish drawing an object. Finally, we can merge this. Going to create a new layer for another flower. And I will pick this blue color with the Studio Pen. I will be drawing it using the Quick Shape tool of Procreate. Drawing the first arc, hold on a second, then another one, which I can fix. First petal done. Continue same way for the smaller petal. The third one will be bigger again and go to the right. And the fourth petal will have a different shape. Here I will pick arc from the pop-up menu and draw one more, which I will fix. Maybe one small correction here too. And I will connect these 2 shapes. Then drop the color inside it. I will create a new layer below. Grab this light blue color. And I will draw a few petals behind the dark ones. Create the shape with arcs going up and down. It works fine even without Quick Shape because they are small and the streamline of my brush is around 100%. Okay, I'm drawing the last one And on the invisible part, I can simply connect these arcs to fill the flower shape with the color. Need to adjust the threshold a little. Okay, I think I should make this petal a little bigger to combine with others. Now much better. Let's add some shading to this part of the flower. To do that, I will first alpha lock the layer by swiping 2 fingers to the right, change the color into another shade of blue, and the brush I will be using for shading is fabric texture. I will increase the size a little and add the texture inside the shape. After that, switch to milky color and add some strokes on petal tips. I will pick the blue color right from the flower and change the brush into Studio Pen. Drawing the lines inside the petals, going from the center up. After we are done with the lines, I suggest we add some shading on the dark part of the flower. For that, I will pick even darker shade of blue and fabric texture brush from Halloween. I will create a new layer above the flower and clip it. Then apply the texture on the left side of each petal. On the small one, then here, and finally on this petal at the bottom. We can go and merge them. I will create a new layer. Same color, but the brush changed to Studio Pen. I want to draw the stem. First arc will go down this way. And the second one parallel to it. We should connect them before filling. Let's add final details here on the flower where the stem grows. Just random shape which I will paint inside. Okay, we are done with this flower too. When I look at the drawing, I can see that the tips of the green grass kind of merge with the green color of the hill. I will fix it now. First grab this nice blue color and go to Halloween brush set to pick the cloudy splash brush. Go into the layer with this texture for the hill. I will increase the size and simply add more of this color until the grass pop up from the background to front. Now looks fine. We are finally done with our forest drawing and we can start drawing the cute fox. I will select this pinkish color and I will create a new layer for it. Again, we are not making any complicated sketches, we will be just drawing using simple shapes. I think monoline is totally fine for this purpose. Let's begin with drawing a circle here. Tapping my finger to make it perfect. I will move it a little up and drag color inside. I will draw a horizontal line going left from top of the circle. For that, I will also tap my finger on the canvas. And after that, I will draw another circle that is a little bigger than the first one. And I will move it down so that it touches the line with its top, filling it with the current color as well. At the lower part, I will connect these two circles with an arc, editing a little, and dragging the color inside the shape. Let's go to eraser and set it to monoline. I will erase the upper part of the fox's back with a curve like that. I will make these transitions smooth Okay, now it is fine. I will draw the leg on the same layer with the same brush. It will be an arc first, then a curvy line on the opposite side of the leg. Here I will draw a line. And another one with a small angle to it. Let's draw this cute small paw of our fox. I will draw another leg on the front, starting with a line with a small curve at the bottom and another line with a small angle connected to it. And I will fill both shapes with the selected color. Once it is done, I will create a new layer above and clip. Also change the color into milky. Let me rotate the canvas to draw this curve on the fox's body. Here it will go down as a line. I'm connecting the edges so that I could fill the shape. After that, I will go to eraser and erase the following parts. Here we need the leg shape to continue, and on this leg I will erase this way, using the quick shape, which I can also edit. Second line, and I will erase the inner part carefully. I will go back to my brush and adjust the shape just a little bit, close to the neck. Changing the color to pinkish and creating a new layer below the body layer. We will draw another pair of legs. Imagine the fox walking forward. To show the movement, we can draw the second front leg in the following position: raised and bent. Here the line will go to the right. Don't forget to connect the edges before filling the shape. And the second leg I will draw starting with a line that ends on the same level as this one. I will make this curve for the paw and then finish drawing with these two curves going to opposite sides. I will make sure to connect them, fix the small thing here and drag the color. On the same layer we can draw the tail. Let the first curve go up like that, and here at the lower part I will draw this way, connecting and filling. Let's create a new layer above this one and clip. I will select the milky color again to add this whitish fur on the tip of the tail. Just drawing a few small curves, which you can draw in your own way, then connecting and dragging the color into it. Time to draw the head on a layer that I will create on top of all layers. Switching back to the base color. First, I will just draw a perfect circle with my finger, tapping on the canvas. Adjust the size, not small but also not very big. And then I will add a nose shape to it with two arcs going this way. I will fill both shapes. I think I can move the head a little to the right. Now I will create a new layer above it and clip to add this whitish fur at the lower part of the head too. Find the best position for your arm to draw a smooth curve. Do it slowly, with confidence. I will connect the invisible part and drag the color inside. Let's pick the base color again, and on the heads layer I will add a few hairs on top using the Studio Pen. Zoom in, first one, then one more, and maybe one small here, dragging the color inside. And I will also add this fluffiness on the side opposite to the nose shape. One, then a small curve, another one, and I think 3 is enough, filling them. Let's pick dark brown color and create a new layer below the head to draw the ears for our fox. They will have the shapes of triangles with rounded corners. I will connect these two curves at the bottom and drop the color. The second ear will be a little bigger because it is a bit closer to the viewer. I will also connect the shapes and fill with this brown color. And again, I will create a new layer to draw the light shapes inside the ears, following the shape of the first ear inside. Filling it after connecting the edges. Doing the same for the second ear. Drawing the arc, connecting, and filling the color. Let's go back to dark brown and create a new layer on top of all layers. We will start adding details on the head, such as nose, that I will fill with the color. And for the eye, I will go to Color Disk and double tap on this black area to get pure black color. Let's draw a perfect circle. For that I'm tapping my finger, filling it. I will alpha lock the layer. Go to Color Palette and select the milky color. I will also change the brush to soft brush from airbrushing, adding the highlight on top of the nose. And for the eye, I will select pure white by going to the disk and double tapping on white. I will lower the opacity of the brush and draw slightly at the bottom of the eye. Then increase the opacity a little and repeat on the lower area. Then make the size smaller and draw, applying more pressure on the pencil. Very similar to what we did in the cute cat tutorial, but we were using the sugar texture brush there. To make the eye look complete, I will add more white color for better blending, and then these small light spots inside the eye to get this glassy effect. Okay, we are done here. And I want to add a few more hairs on the fox body to make it look a little fluffy. I will first pick this light color from the fox, then go to this layer and select Studio Pen. I will add some volume here. on the chest, and then go to Eraser, set to Studio Pen. I will erase two small shapes to imitate the fur. One here and another one a little lower. After that, go into the lower layer to add a couple of similar shapes on the lower part of the neck. Maybe 3 of them. It already looks cute and fluffy. Now we can start shading the fox. For that, I will go to the color palette and pick the orange color. I will be using fabric texture. Before doing that, we should go and alpha lock the layer by swiping 2 fingers to the right. I will adjust the brush size and start adding this texture on the back. Then go down on the leg and at the bottom as well. To correct this part, I will change back to base color and set the brush opacity to maximum. With low size, I will draw to align the color. After it's done, I can go back to previous color and previous brush opacity to continue shading. On the front leg, it will go on the right side and at the bottom. Now let's do the same for the head. First, I will alpha lock the layer, so that my strokes don't go outside its borders. And then I will add the texture at the bottom, on the right side and a little on top. This layer needs some shading too. Adding it at the bottom of this leg and on the right side of it. Here I will apply it on the inner side. And on the tail it will go at the bottom. For highlights, I will pick the light beige color. While we are on this layer, let's begin with the tail. I will draw on top of it. Here comes the leg. I will highlight it on the right side. And let's not forget this one. Going on another layer. Highlighting the front part, including the leg. And here. Not too much, just slightly. I will add some more on this area, and this is enough. Finally, go into the head to highlight the front part of it and going a little on top. Before I forget, let's add the highlight and shading around the eye. I will be using the soft brush for that purpose with full opacity and low size, making these circular moves under the eye. And with the orange color, I will add shading same way on top of the eye. It will be great if we add some shading on the light areas too. To do that, I will grab the lemon color next to yellow in the color palette and change the brush to fabric texture. Let's begin with the head. I'm locking this layer and drawing at the bottom of the shape. I suggest we go to this layer with light fur on the body. Also lock it and draw at the bottom, starting from the neck. on this area too. Ears need some shading, so I'm locking the layer and drawing on the outer sides. Finally, go into the light area of the tail to draw on its bottom after locking it. Let's merge all the layers with the fox and duplicate it. I will place the lower layer below the spider. This fox layer is locked after merging, and we will use it to change the color into this violet. I will open the layer menu and click Fill Layer. Then go to Transformation and flip vertical. Let me zoom out holding this arrow, and I will click on Distort. Let's drag the shadow to the left, assuming the moonlight is coming from the right side. I will move it a little and drag this side. I want to blur the edges, but before that we should go and unlock the layer. I will go to Adjustments and apply Gaussian blur on the layer, around 5%. Lower the layer's opacity to 45%. Let's try the multiply mode to make the texture of the heel more visible and lower the opacity even more, because it's still a moonlight, not sun. 23% is perfect. One last detail that I would like to add is the small butterfly that our fox is following. So I'm picking the lightest color from my palette and Studio Pen from inking, lowering the size, creating a new layer for the butterfly above the fox. I will first draw a shape of a heart and fill it. Then draw the lower wings this way. And also fill them. Final details. To make it shine, I will first duplicate the layer, go to the lower one and apply Gaussian blur on the layer, around 6.5%. Then duplicate it to emphasize the shine. The drawing is complete. But since there's Halloween coming, we could add some spooky look to our sweet illustration. And now I will show you two ways to get your layers merged without actually merging them. The first way goes like this. I will stay on the layer above which I want my merged layers to appear. Let it be this top layer. Then I will swipe 3 fingers down. Copy all. Then swipe again. Paste. We got all visible layers merged and appeared as one layer on top. The second way to do the same is the following. I will go to Actions, copy canvas, then click Paste. Same result here. And now I will apply one of Procreate's new features on this layer. It's gradient map. But I will be using it with the pencil. The brush picked is Soft Brush, lowering the opacity a little and increasing the size. I think this noir scheme will fit. I will go with the brush to the right and back. See how it's turning the drawing into dark night. We can totally stop here. I just want to try how it will look with full strength. So I'm adding one more layer of this filter, going around the canvas with the brush. It's up to you to choose the final version for this drawing. Personally, I prefer the cute one. And at this moment we can consider the tutorial finished. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about drawing on Procreate. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notifications. Tag me on your Instagram post to get featured. See you in the next tutorial.